If you love Star Trek as much as I do, then you probably need this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Now, if you are a Star Trek lover like moi, then you probably love some of the books. I bet you don't even know how many books there are. There are a lot. But I actually recently got into DS9 again, Deep Space Nine. It was a show that I really enjoyed. After TNG went away, man, this could have scratched the itch. And it was something different than a spaceship just flying around. I really loved it. And the show kind of stuck with me, but it was really later, even more recently, that I came to appreciate it because, Voyager came out and Enterprise and some of those other shows, but they were really kind of rehashes of TNG, just in a different era. And one of the things that I really loved about this was it just really worked as a show. The Hadar wars were just fascinating. I thought the show got stronger at the end. There were some really interesting things where people were kidnapped and they didn't realize they were kidnapped and all sorts of cool stuff. But DS9 was actually an ore refinery built by the Cardassians and then taken over by the Federation and then redesignated as Deep Space Nine. And one of the things that I've never had, and this is a brand new book here, is this illustrated handbook. I just took the plastic off it. I'm super excited to look at it. I've had technical manuals in the past, and basically they're all black and white, which is fine. But this will have some color to it too. Oh, what's this? A little upsell material right there. And man, got the pictures here. I loved DS9 also because of its practical effects. So the fact that we have some photos here, that's not computer generated. That was the model. They built a couple of these models, a really large one and then a smaller one for filming the wide shots. This one obviously is like a painting or drawing of some sort. And then what I love about this over the, Star Trek technical manual that I have, this is in color. So lots of different stuff here. So you get to see it in full color. A lot of the photos from the show and the Bajoran conspiracy, the Dominion occupation. That's where things really got heated up. Man, there was some character carryover from TNG, which I really loved. Here is all of these little details. A lot of the stuff you just don't see in the show because they're not going to go, let's go to Pylon 3 and let's climb up this tube here and blah, 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 blah. But if you really love the show, if you really wanted to get into the details and know what everything was, this is where you would do it, right? They're not just going to throw that in for no reason. And so you get to see a lot of stuff that they didn't build sets for, right? So you never saw them and you just want to see what they're like. I remember in the Dominion War where these little sail cannons popped out and were firing photon torpedoes. It looks so cool. There's an image from the show. So I just wanted to show this to you because this is what you can expect to get. Lots of stuff, communication, sensors. Like I said, just the big color drawings. It kind of reminds me of instructional manuals from the 80s when you had artists drawing stuff, car repair manuals, because we didn't have the computer generated stuff like you do today. So man, it's just nice to see kind of this old school stuff, but man, it's just fascinating. And it's even like quarks. You only see quarks on the first level. You don't see all these other levels. So how cool is that? Go up to the holodecks. I guess they were called holosuites and quarks. And just the characters, man, I just think there's so much in this book. You could spend days with it, poring over the details. So much stuff to see here. Holding cells, Bajoran Temple, man, infirmary. I just think any real diehard Trekker is going to just want to curl up in a corner with this. And not like me, to cry in the dark alone, but just to pore over these details, immerse yourself, get lost in it like you were living in the time, like you are a citizen and a resident of Deep Space Nine. So super cool. I am super stoked about checking this out. Ironically, if I go on vacation and find a beach chair somewhere, this is probably what I'll be reading. I know. I'm cool. So, hey, if you want to pick up the Star Trek Deep Space Nine illustrated handbook, only about $24, $25, something like that. I think it is worth every penny, and you are going to get inundated, saturated, and overloaded with everything DS9. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.